Greetings and welcome to Monarch channel. Today we're gonna talk about one of the most famous curses, the curse of the Pharaoh. Almost anything can be cursed, from toys to whole buildings, in this case, resting place of a king. Some say that you will more likely come under the curse if you believe in it, and other claims that most of the time you don't even know someone or something have put the curse on you. Anyways, to avoid being cursed, be sure to hit subscribe and like button. And in case you have any true or fictional stories, any legends or scary and mysterious videos you would like to share, email is in the description box, so feel free to send your stuff my way. One more thing, if you hear any strange noises during this video, don't worry, it's not cursed, just my cats having fun. Let's get started. The curse of the Pharaohs, or the mummy's curse, is a curse alleged to be cast upon anyone who disturbs the mummy of an ancient Egyptian, especially a pharaoh. This curse, which does not differentiate between thieves and archaeologists, is claimed to cause bad luck, illness, or death. Since the mid-20th century, many authors and documentaries have argued that the curse is real in sense that having scientifically explicable causes such as bacteria or radiation. However, the modern origins of Egyptian mummy curse tales, their development primarily in European cultures, the shift from magic to science to explain curses and their changing uses, from condemning disturbance of the dead to entertaining horror film audiences, suggest that Egyptian curses are primarily a cultural, not exclusively scientific phenomenon. There are occasional instances of genuine ancient curses appearing inside or on the facade of a tomb, as in the case of Mastamba of Kentika Ikehi of the 6th dynasty at Saqqara. These appear to be directed towards the Ka priests to protect the tomb carefully and preserve the ritual purity, rather than as a warning for potential robbers. There have been stories of curses going back to the 19th century, but they multiplied after Howard Carter discovered the tomb of Tutankhamun. Despite popular misconceptions, no curse was found inscripted in the Pharaoh's tomb. Curses relating to tombs are extremely rare, possibly because the idea of such desecration was unthinkable and even dangerous to record in writing. They most frequently occur in private tombs of the Old Kingdom era. The tomb Anktifi contains the warning: any ruler who shall do evil or wickedness to this coffin, may Haman not accept any goods he offers, and may his heir not inherit. The tomb of Kentika contains an inscription: as for all men who shall enter this my tomb impure, there will be judgment, and end shall be made for him. I shall seize his neck like a bird, I shall cast the fear of myself into him. Curses after the Old Kingdom era are less common, though more severe, sometimes evoking the Year of Tooth or the destruction of Sekhmet. Zahi Hawass quotes an example of a curse: cursed be those who disturb the rest of the Pharaoh. They that shall break the seal of his tomb shall meet death by disease that no doctor can diagnose. Hieroglyphs were not deciphered until the beginning of the 19th century by Jean-Francis Champollion, so reports of curses before this are simply perceived bad luck associated with the handling of mummies and other artifacts from tombs. In 1699, Louis Spencer wrote an account in which he recorded how a Polish traveler bought 2 mummies in Alexandria and embarked on a sea journey with the mummies in the cargo hold. The traveler was alarmed by visions of two specters, and the stormy seas did not abate until the mummies were thrown overboard. Zahi Hawass recalled that as a young archaeologist excavating at Kom Abu Bilo, he had to transport several artifacts from the Greco-Roman site. His cousin died on that day, his uncle died on its first anniversary, and on the third, his aunt died. Years later, when he excavated the tomb of the builders of the pyramids at Giza, he encountered the curse. All people who enter this tomb, who will make evil against this tomb and destroy it, may the crocodiles be against them in water and snakes against them on land. May the hippopotamus be against them in water, the scorpion on land. Though not superstitious, he decided not to disturb the mummies. However, he later was involved in the removal of two child mummies from Baharia Oasis to a museum and reported he was haunted by the children in his dreams. The phenomenon did not stop until the mummy of the father was reunited with the children in the museum. He concluded that the mummies should not be displayed, though it was a lesser evil than allowing the general public into the tombs. Hawass also recorded an incident of a sick young boy who loved ancient Egypt and was subject to a miracle cure in the Egyptian Museum when he looked into the eyes of a mummy of King Ahmose I. Tutankhamun was an ancient Egyptian pharaoh who was the last of his royal family to rule during the end of the 18th dynasty. His father was the pharaoh Akhenaten, believed to be the mummy found in the tomb KV55. His mother is his father's sister, identified through DNA testing as an unknown mummy referred to as the Younger Lady, who was found in KV35. Tutankhamun took the throne at 8 or 9 years of age, under the unprecedented visorship of his eventual successor A, to whom he may be related. He married his half-sister Aksenamun. During their marriage, they lost two daughters. His names, Tutankhaten and Tutankhamun, are thought to mean living image of Aten and living image of Amun, with Aten replaced by Amun after Akhenaten's death. Tutankhamun restored the ancient Egyptian religion after its dissolution by his father, enriched and involved the priestly orders of the two important cults, and began restoring all monuments damaged during the previous period. He moved his father's remains to the Valley of the Kings, as well as moving the capital from Akhenaten to Thebes. Tutankhamun was physically disabled, with a deformity of his left foot along with bone necrosis that required the use of a cane, several of which were found in his tomb. He had other health issues, including scoliosis, and had contracted several strains of malaria. The belief in the curse of the pharaoh was brought to many people's attention due to deaths of a few members of Howard Carter's team and other prominent visitors to the tomb shortly thereafter. Carter's team opened the tomb of Tutankhamun KV62 in 1923, launching the modern era of Egyptology. The famous Egyptologist James Henry Breasted worked with Carter soon after the first opening of the tomb. He reported how Carter sent a messenger on an errand to his house. On approaching his home, the messenger thought he heard a faint, almost human cry. Upon reaching the entrance, he saw the birdcage occupied by a cobra, the symbol of the Egyptian monarchy. Carter's canary had died in its mouth, and this fueled local rumors of a curse. Arthur Regal, a previous Inspector General of Antiquities to the Egyptian government, reported that this was interpreted as Carter's house being broken into by the royal cobra, the same as the worn on the king's head to strike enemies, on the very day that king's tomb was broken into. An account of the incident was reported by the New York Times on 22nd December 1922. The first of the mysterious deaths was that one of the Lord Carnarvon. He had been bitten by a mosquito and later slashed the bite accidentally while shaving. It became infected and that resulted in blood poisoning. 2 weeks before Carnarvon died, Marie Corelli wrote an imaginative letter that was published in the New York World magazine, in which she quoted an obscure book that confidently asserted that dire punishment would follow any intrusion into a sealed tomb. A media frenzy followed, with reports that a curse has been found in the king's tomb, though that was untrue. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, creator of Sherlock Holmes, suggested that Lord Carnarvon's death has been caused by elements created by Tutankhamun's priest to guard the royal tomb, and this further fueled the media interest. Arthur Weigel reported that 6 weeks before Carnarvon's death, he had watched the Earl laughing and joking as he entered the king's tomb and said to a nearby reporter, "I give him 6 weeks to live." The first autopsy carried out on the body of Tutankhamun by Dr. Derry found a healed lesion on the left cheek. But as Carnarvon has been buried 6 months previously, it was not possible to determine if the location of the wound on the king corresponded with the fatal mosquito bite of Carnarvon. In 1925, the anthropologist Henry Field, accompanied by Breasted, visited the tomb and recalled the kindness and friendliness of Carter. He also reported how a paper right given to Carter's friend Sir Bruce Ingram was composed of a mummified hand with its wrist adorned with a scarab bracelet marked with
"Cursed be he who move my body, to him shall come fire, water, and pestilence."
Soon after receiving the gift, Ingram's house burned down, followed by a flood when it was rebuilt. Howard Carter was internally skeptical of such curses, dismissing them as tommy rot and commenting that the sentiment of Egyptologists is not one of fear, but of respect and awe, entirely opposed to foolish superstitions. In May 1926, he reported in his diary a sighting of jackal of the same type as Anubis, the guardian of the dead, for the first time in over 35 years of working in the desert, although he did not attribute this to supernatural causes. Skeptics have pointed out that many others who visited the tomb or helped to discover it lived long and healthy lives. A study showed that of the 58 people who were present when the tomb and sarcophagus were opened, only 8 died within a dozen years. All the others were still alive, including Howard Carter, who died of lymphoma in 1939 at the age of 64. The last survivors included Lady Everly Harbert, Lord Carnarvon's daughter, who was among the first people to enter the tomb after the discovery in November 1922, who lived for a further 57 years and died in 1980. An American archaeologist, J.O. Kinnaman, who died in 1961, 39 years after the events. Thank you guys for stopping by. Hope you liked these stories. Before you leave, please subscribe and hit the like button. If you have any stories, true or fictional, or maybe you have some scary videos you would like to submit, email is in the description box. And if you need any copyright-free background videos, subscribe to our other channel, Monarch Free Videos, as well. Links are down there. Just put a link to your description box. That's all, no permissions needed. Stay safe and I'll see you soon.